We're at the point with artificial intelligence where small differences in design, in speed, and answers are going to lead to much better results from a user perspective. And those little points of friction are going to be really important for every company that's building some sort of AI tool or chatbot. And obviously, ChatGPT was the product that brought this technology to a lot of users, but it may not be the company that wins this market long term. And one of the biggest reasons is ChatGPT and OpenAI as a company does not own the kind of infrastructure that a lot of competitors have. The two competitors in particular to think about are Meta Platforms and Alphabet. They have both been building their own infrastructure, one for social media, the other for search, for 2 decades now. And that infrastructure is being used to make artificial intelligence easier to use, just that little bit easier than it has ever been. So today I want to highlight Meta AI. This is a product that they just announced today. Mark Zuckerberg made a video, said this is going to be included in a lot of their products like Instagram and WhatsApp, but there's also a website that you can go to and just interact with it. And it's already, in the first day of operations, much easier than using ChatGPT. And I'm going to walk through that today and show why these little points of friction are really important to think about. My name is Travis Hoyam. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. So let's get right to what Meta announced today. This is the announcement from Meta. It came out a couple of hours ago. And what they said is that they're building this product, Meta AI, with Llama 3. They're also open sourcing some of their other models. I'm not going to dig into that open sourcing piece in this video. But what I want to highlight is what they're building, which they're calling a better assistant that has more information and faster images. So this is what you would call a multimodal model. You can get images out of it. You can get text out of it. And this is going to work within some of their apps. You can see it asking questions within their apps. So potentially a great use case within the tools that you're already using. And this is one of the things that I've highlighted on this channel is that artificial intelligence is great, and it's great that the models are getting better and better. Great that the chips are getting better and better. But at the end of the day, the applications, the actual things that we're using artificial intelligence for is going to be the most important thing. And right now, the most obvious ways to use artificial intelligence are really augmenting the things that we're doing with companies like Meta and also Alphabet. So that's why I think these two companies are really important to watch, because they also have arguably some of the best infrastructure in the industry. What I wanted to highlight here is Meta AI. And when I say that taking little pieces of friction out are very important, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is when you go to this website, I am in a private browser, so I'm not logged into anything on this browser, but I can just go straight to Meta AI and I can look at, okay, what would it look like to write an email? And one of the things that I thought was interesting with this one is it actually gives you some tools. You can say, hey, put this email right into the conversation, or it will write an email for you. So this is maybe not a new use case, but if you're thinking about using AI to help you write an email, do you want to do it with this interface, or do you want to do it with this interface? This is ChatGPT. And to get into ChatGPT, you have to log in. So we're talking about another step. This is what you get with Gemini. Now, again, you have to sign in, but if you're like me, you're probably signed into Google already. So this isn't really a friction point with my normal everyday use because I'm already signed into Google and sometimes I'm already using Chrome. So a company like Google is actually taking away some of that friction just by what you've already done on your device. So maybe in this sense, Meta AI is the easiest to use, followed by Gemini, and then followed well behind by ChatGPT. But let's go to some of these other use cases as well, because you can do a lot of different things with this artificial intelligence tool. Now, Meta, of course, does want you to log in, so you can log in with Facebook, but you can also use this tool without logging in. And what I've noticed with a little bit of use with this application in particular is not quite as quick as Gemini, but it's going to give you very similar answers. Like, what are the best AI applications today? ChatGPT, Bing, Facetune, Lensa, Otter AI. And this is actually pulling in information from the web as well, and you can view sources right here. So this is one of the things that I think is improving really rapidly with AI tools, is not just giving you answers and potentially hallucinating, but actually backing them up with information and with data. Because as we use this more for very normal things, you may want to go to the search engine. So Meta is going to actually link you straight to the question that you're trying to answer with that button at the bottom. So you're taking some of the search capabilities and then bringing it into artificial intelligence. I think that's a nice advancement and something that companies like Meta and Alphabet are leading, and not necessarily ChatGPT. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. So I think there's really two ways to look at this from an investment standpoint. And really, ChatGPT and Gemini and Meta AI are tools that are going to be maybe usable for a lot of people, but they're not necessarily going to be money makers for all the companies involved. If you are ChatGPT, you're actually working with Microsoft Azure. Azure is trying to build a cloud service where a lot of companies are building artificial intelligence tools in the cloud, but they don't necessarily at the end of the day care if you're using an OpenAI API or whether you're using some other model like Llama, which Meta is open sourcing that model. And this is what we've seen as companies test and move closer to production with a lot of projects, is they're trying to find the lowest cost cloud provider, the best infrastructure, and the lowest cost model. OpenAI may not be that. Now, Meta isn't providing cloud services in the way that a company like Alphabet is with Google Cloud. But again, this is a way that Google Cloud is trying to differentiate itself from Azure's. They're saying, hey, Azure is really tied to OpenAI. They're trying to build competing products to you. Don't use their API. Use the open source APIs or the APIs that we've developed to build on Google Cloud. They want to become the equivalent of AWS for the artificial intelligence world. And now from an application standpoint, I think both Alphabet or Google and Meta have a much better case from an investment perspective than OpenAI or even Microsoft. People don't use Bing. That's just the reality. They use Google Search. So if you can start to incorporate some of these answers into Google Search, which they've already started to do, include image generation, all those kinds of tools. We don't have a monetization tool for AI yet, but the technology is clearly there and the infrastructure is clearly there. And that's where there's little advantages to being one of the incumbent players in artificial intelligence or in technology today. And that, I think, is going to ultimately be very important for these models and these chatbots and where pieces of AI are ultimately built. If you're a startup today and you're considering, do I build on Azure or do I build on Google Cloud, those small advantages that Gemini has from a speed standpoint, that's going to be the advantage over moving to Microsoft Azure. Meta, I think, is a very interesting play in the artificial intelligence space because they're taking what I call a scorched earth strategy. They can say, hey, OpenAI, great, you're going to spend $1 billion building a model. We're just going to give away a model that's equivalent for free because we don't care about making money on the model. We want to make money on the applications that we're building and the way that we're actually using this. And that is going to be much more advantageous to us to have our models be used as an open source baseline for a lot of these technology products that are built than it would be closing them off the way that OpenAI is trying to do. So very different models being used in artificial intelligence today, but I think with the introduction of Meta AI, with the advancement of Gemini, I think the future of ChatGPT looks extremely cloudy. For now, I would say that Meta AI is one of the most impressive AI tools that I have seen yet. And the reason is because it takes out those little pieces of friction that have long made AI very difficult to use. But what do you think about Meta AI and the big AI players today? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.